Hello, this is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews, the Senior Pastor of Visions International Ministry. Just wanted to share some words of encouragement on this Good Friday. Today's topic is God's love languages. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman. This is the book. I've had mine for a number of years now, but there are five love languages that Gary Chapman talks about in his book. Hi, Nia. Thanks for joining. And I want to kind of talk about God's love languages as we look at the love languages that many of us have become familiar with as a result of that book. So the five love languages that Gary Chapman outlines are quality time, which is really spending time with that person. Doesn't matter if you just laying up in each other's arms. Quality time speaks to some people as their love language. Words of affirmation is another love language. And that is, again, when you are just exhorting someone, telling them how great they are, how proud you are of them, that you love them. Just again, laying on those words of affirmation to really encourage them and fill their love tank up. The third love language is gifts. Some people just are really moved by gifts. It doesn't matter if it's their favorite candy bar or a Mercedes Benz. They love gifts, and that's their love language. Other people, like myself, enjoy acts of service. Acts of service really let somebody know that you love them, whether it is keeping the tank on full or washing the car or whatever it may be, washing the dishes, cleaning the bathroom, the laundry. You know, the acts of service that you perform for someone else really speaks to them and lets them know that you love them. And the final of the five love languages is physical touch. Some people are just really touchy-feely. My mom is one of those people. She loves giving hugs. If you've ever had a hug from Mother Lee, you know what I'm talking about. So physical touch is some people's love language. So the five love languages, again, that Gary Chapman popularized in his best-selling book are the ones that we just talked about. But if we look at those same love languages in the way that God has communicated his love to us, we can see some stark similarities. So for example, for quality time, what God asks of us as far as prayer, meditation, and even fellowship with one another, that's spending quality time with each other. And that's how he shows us his love as well. If we look at words of affirmation, when we come together for worship, when we come together for devotion, or when we have our personal devotion and worship time, we are giving words of affirmation to God. We're telling him who he is, who we acknowledge him as, Elohim, El Shaddai, our provider, our healer. And we go through all these different names and words of affirmation that we offer up to God. And that is similar to that love language. As far as gifts, this one is not hard because, of course, the Bible tells us that Jesus gave gifts unto men. We have the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So he's given us gifts as well. The next one is acts of service. Now you might be wondering, well, acts of service, what does that mean? How does that relate to God? Well, ministry itself is service. That's what ministry is. Ministry is not about being in a pulpit or behind a microphone. Ministry is really about serving other people and showing the love, there's that word again, the love of God to others. So when we serve others and when we minister to others' needs, that is acts of service. And God does the same for us. When we are in need of a comforter, guess what? He gave us the precious Holy Spirit. When we're in need of an intercessor, when we're in need of an advocate, we have all of those things through Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And then the final love language, physical touch. So when we feel the presence of God, whether it's in a worship service, whether it's in our bedroom or our prayer closet, when we feel the presence of God, when we feel the presence of the Holy Spirit, that intimacy that the word talks about, us being able to have an experience with God, that's that physical touch. If you've ever been touched by him as far as healing, you know what that looks like. So again, each of these love languages can be experienced through God in the same way that we want to experience them with other people. So regardless of what your love language is and which one speaks to you the highest, or which one is on the top of your list as far as primary and secondary love languages, think about the love languages and how we can show and express our love to God in the same way that he has expressed his love to us. Ultimately, love can be felt. So regardless of what your love language is, you want your love tank to be on full. And guess what? We can do the same for God. So make sure that as you're thinking about your own love languages, and as we look at this Good Friday on how God has shown us love and the sacrifice that he's given us, make sure we keep in mind that those love languages can also be reciprocated to God, just as God has given them to us. So I encourage you to minister to the Lord the same way that you would want somebody to minister to you as far as your love languages. Again, those love languages are quality time, words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So as you close out this day and as you have your personal devotion and prayer time, I want you to think about how you can really speak that love language to God to make sure that we're showing love to Him just as He has already shown so much tremendous love to us. Thank you for joining me. This was just a quick word on this Good Friday. This is Dr. DeAndrea Matthews, Senior Pastor of Visions International Ministry. Have a great day.